Hey guys, this is your girl Najwa. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. So, I got to thinking yesterday. The other day, I watched the movie Save the Last Dance. I love me some throwbacks, and I really depend, especially on my throwback music. If there's one thing, one expense I shall never ever compromise on, is having a good music platform to listen to. And so, and back in the days, if you think back in the days, we used to have our big iPod, For me, I had a fake iPod, but it looked like an iPod. And we had all of our music on there, and, the world changed, and everything became in the cloud. Everything became MP3. And so I was talking to my husband about it. We had watched the movie Taxi Cab. I think it's called Taxi Cab, with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon. And the day before, I had watched Save the Last Dance. And my husband and I, we were talking, which is so funny because he's Portuguese, but we have like the same taste in like old school jams, old school R&B throwbacks in movies, like a lot of the movies from like the late 90s and early 2000s. So it's just so crazy how two people can be so different but be so linked. But we were having this discussion, and we were talking about back in the day when you used to have VHSs and DVDs and CDs, in your home entertainment system, which a lot of people still keep them, But everything now for the younger generation, I feel like is digitized, and so we don't really go back and look at those movies, listen to that music that we really loved, and then when we do, we realize, oh snap, we didn't listen to this music, we didn't look at these movies because it was there, because we had it, and the analog sort of format that we had before, and we just had it, so we just kept watching it all over again or listening to it all over again. You get back and you realize, oh no, I listened to this because it's just so good, And I remember growing up, every Saturday, my parents would always have music playing. And it would definitely always be old school 60s and 70s music, like the OJs, like the Supremes, like Aretha Franklin. For my dad, it was usually more jazz stuff, like Frank Sinatra and Louis Armstrong. And it's the same thing for us now. And so anyway, I got to listening to some music, and I was listening to Drake. I think I started the playlist off. If you are on any kind of cloud platform, Spotify, what else is out there? YouTube Music, Pandora, you can put a song in and it just will the algorithm will think for you and it'll give you the music that's like that. And I notice when I do that, I get to listen to that music that was on that old iPod because somehow the algorithm knows, which, AI is a whole nother story right now, but, it just knows how to interpret that to find music that's similar. And so it ends up sounding like those CDs, those VHS tapes or whatever that you had. And it just brings me back. Like I was listening to stuff like Drake, like Lil Wayne, like Chris Brown, Alicia Keys, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Wale, and even Justin Timberlake, old school Miley Cyrus, Janae Aiko, Frank Ocean, Nelly, Nicki Minaj, Khalid. And I just got to thinking, this stuff with Jamie Foxx that's going on. So Jamie Foxx apparently had a heart attack, and this is a young man. This is a young black entertainer. And I started to get to thinking, man, I haven't been listening to a lot of my old throwback music for a while. Why is that? Yes, it might be because we don't have those iPods like before. But maybe it's also because what's going on in the world right now? The antagonization, vilification of what the far right deems as woke, which includes black people, LGBTQ people, young people, feminists, everything that basically is what's reflected in entertainment right now, politics and the polarization that's going on in social media, taken by sort of extremist trolls and perpetuated by toxic media. It's like that plays out as well. I feel like I literally haven't been listening to so many of the black artists that I love and the young artists, who might not be black, but they definitely are anti-racist, like, Justin Timberlake or Eminem, that, like I've said before, all it takes to sort of propel these discussions we're having around tolerance, about multiculturalism, about black success, and integrating black faces and brown faces and people of color and women more into the workplace, into society. That's all reflected into what's going on in society right now. And I was like, you know what? Jamie Foxx is a representation of how, Hollywood is literally driving black entertainers, black musicians, black actors into early graves because the world is just so stressful right now. The same way that black men are vilified, targeted by the police in the United States, the same thing is happening within entertainment. And it's so bizarre because it's like things got flipped. It's like things got flipped somehow, because I remember growing up being around the old folks, which I see a lot of the MAGA cultists, it seems to be older white people. And I remember being around old folks, which I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and I come from a lower middle class black family. And my family was very close with a lot of lower middle class whites, and I grew up with a lot of people from the church, from my grandparents, in my own family, and we lived together, coexisted, listened to good music, and had a communal and loving rapport with one another. And recently something has just happened where, I don't know, like it used to be the old folks, black and white, with me growing up, would talk about, you need to have the love of God in your life. You need to respect God. You need to respect others. You need to come from a place of compassion. And now it seems like some of the most extreme of personalities are saying the complete opposite. It's like, you gotta be violent, you gotta be aggressive, you gotta be controlling. And these are older, mature individuals who are perpetuating this, and they're feeding it to their kids, to their grandkids, and what's happening? What's happening? So, yes, and music is healing. Music is healing. Why do you think so many of the biggest entertainers in the United States concerning music, concerning acting, are black actors, are black musicians? Because we're coming from slavery. Old Negro spirituals and music was such an integral part of the black community, of the church, because it was like, dude, if we don't stay woke, taking that word back, as I've said many times, if we don't stay woke, if we don't continue to protect our health, to protect our mental health, to protect sort of coming from a place of peace and well-being, nobody is going to do it for us. And that's why black music is so uplifting and beautiful. And as well as white music, as well as Hispanic music, as well as, Asian music. K-pop has sort of really forged a road that I never could have even imagined how popularized it would be throughout the world. I told you, the Hollywood is losing $10 billion a year because they are not integrating multicultural personalities, multicultural faces. Music is healing, guys. Music is healing. So I know that things are very polarized right now. And I'm Catholic. I'm not even saying that all of this music is very PC. I'm not even saying it's PG-13. A lot of the music I listen to, a lot of the music has curse words, talks about sex, talks about, all kinds of things. It always has. But, there seems to have been a war waged from, very, very stark conservative voices that have just antagonized stuff, and it's being reflected across all streams. So, guys, go back. It might not be Drake for you. It might not be Jhené Aiko. It might not be The Weeknd or Chris Brown or whatever it is for you. But if you've got those oldies, put them on. Put them on. Put them in your headphones. Put them on the speaker. It's a great stress reliever in this world where we're all so inflated with stress because the media wants us to be fearful and all pumped up because it benefits them. Don't choose to do it. It takes something from a marginalized group of people who has had to advocate for their happiness, for their well-being, for enjoyment, for compassion, for love, for creativity, because nobody else would do it for us. So I had a great time listening to some of my good oldies. What are some of your good oldies? I want to know. Tell me in the comments. Like, have any of you guys recently listened to some music from, and you know what? My golden period is like between 2012 and 2015, which, that right there. Who became president in 2016? World got real wonky after that. But I love it. Takes me back to frat parties and dancing with my girlfriends in my dorm room. And, you know, it just, it warms my heart. But I would love to know you guys' favorite oldies in the comments. Let me know. If you're new to this channel, please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye. Bye. Bye.